Hello, today I'm going to be reviewing the AZDOME M01 Pro. It's a 1080p Full HD front and rear dashcam. It is currently on eBay for £42.39 and on Amazon.com for $62.99 plus $9.88 shipping UK. This is a very budget friendly camera, so let's see what you get. It's very nicely presented. Here is the main camera itself. It looks nice and has a good weight to it with metal buttons. Better quality than I thought. Here is the instruction manual and some information on AZDOME with their links in the bottom right corner. It also has one of these pads which is designed for easy removal. I personally don't like them as I think they're a bit unsightly. So, what's in this big black box? First are some clips and a trim tool for pushing wires behind pieces of trim in the car. Next, here is a 32GB micro SD card. It's the first dashcam I've had which automatically comes with one included. Next is the suction mount. It's a pretty standard mount and there's not really much more to say. So after that we've got the USB to 12V socket adapter. This means that the power cable can also double as a PC to camera, which is quite useful for downloading footage. Talking of which, next is the power cable and a sticky mount. It's nice that they include both types of mounts. Finally, the rear camera setup. First is the sticky pads or screws to secure the rear camera in place. It's nice they give you the option as different cars have different things. Some will have roof clips to hold the roof lining in, so therefore you could use the screws, or some will just have roof lining like mine does, so you can just use a sticky pad and stick it on. The rear camera is very sweet. It's the smallest I've ever seen. The mount is a bit loose and there doesn't seem to be any way of tightening it. So it does mean it might wobble about over bumps, but we'll have to see in the actually test it out. Now the power cable, it's a good length, which means you can run it on big cars or small cars. And there is this red wire. Now this red wire is to connect to the positive electrode on the reversing lights. So the reversing lines come screen, so that means you can use this camera as a reversing camera as well, which is quite clever. So anyway, that's everything that's in the box. Let's fit this camera to the car and see what it's like. So you turn the dashcam on by plugging it in. It starts up quickly. Like most dashcams, you have to stop it recording by pressing the OK button before you can go into the menu/settings. These are the following settings. Resolution 1080p or 720p at 30 frames per second. Loop recording off, 1 minute, 3 minutes, 5 minutes. Microphone on or off. Exposure. Time lapse on or off. ADAS, which is basically lane departure and forward collision warning, and some other bits. The sensor off, high, middle, low. Parking mode on or off, but it has to be off while driving. Language, volume off, high, middle, or low. That's the volume of the dashcam itself, not the volume of the footage. Screensaver, so the screen turns off after 1 minute, 2 minutes or 3 minutes, or you can have it off completely, but I wouldn't recommend that, as legally you should have it off. Driving, frequency, data format, date and time stamp whether you want it on or off. Fatigue warning, off, 1 hour, 2 hours, 4 hours. Format the SD card warning, which can be off, or 15 days, 30 days or 60 days. formatting the SD card, which has OK or cancel, and then finally the version of firmware you've got on it. I believe you can update it on their website. So to actually play the footage back, you need to press M and then scroll through and choose the clip you want using the arrows. Then press OK to play it. If you then want to pause it again, you can then press OK. And if you want to go back, then press M. And you can then cycle through the files and choose which ones you want. If you then want to go to the photos or the locked files, you then need to press M again. And if you keep pressing it, it then goes back to the original recording screen. Then press OK to start it recording again. And it's time to download the footage and have a look. I don't normally talk about downloading the footage from the dashcam to the PC, as it's normally very easy. Just connect the camera to the PC via a cable. Dashcam becomes mass storage and you can access the footage. However, this one wasn't quite like that. If you just want to look at the footage from this camera, I would recommend doing it on the dashcam itself. It works rather well and is 10 times easier. Things you're going to need in order to do that are not included when you buy the camera: micro SD card to SD card adapter. Now, you don't need one of these if you are buying a separate SD card reader. However, if you've got one integrated into the PC like I have, you are going to need a micro SD card to SD card adapter. So as I said, you need an SD card reader, and I said my computer's got one built in, so I don't need to buy one. And finally, you're going to need VLC player software on your actual computer. If you don't have that, you won't quite get the full effect. So if you just connect the dashcam to the PC like I normally would, it just acts as a power source, which is quite useful for filming some of these sections, but it's a bit of a problem when it comes to trying to download the footage. So in order for me to access the footage, I had to get the micro SD card out of the camera, put that into my micro SD card to SD card adapter, then put the SD card into the SD card reader built in my computer, and then bring the footage up. And then I have to open it up with VLC player, and it will play. If you don't open it with VLC player, you have no sound. So as you can see, it's a bit of a faff. So the footage itself, so let's start off with the front camera. It's 1080p full HD and the rear one is 480p. The instructions do not mention anything about the rear camera, so the 480p is what my computer is telling me the resolution is. I don't actually have official numbers, that's what it's saying. Back to the rear camera, very impressed with it. It's really good quality for the money. It does a really good job of the sun, and it isn't far behind my VFO A129, which is a much more expensive camera. The same cannot be said for the rear camera, as it is 480p, and it does look like a cheap dashcam. It's not very good. It's inverted, and as expected due to the loose mount, it wobbles a lot. But it is a nice bonus to have, but it does seem like a little bit of an afterthought personally. Let's go.
I wonder what these people thought when they said we're going to build a road around your pub.
I suppose it's quite a good location then.
Yeah, I suppose you're right.
No one to my left, so that's alright. And it's green, go! Oh, you're doing a U-it. I don't think that's allowed.
I don't think it's allowed, I don't know.
It doesn't say it's not allowed.
We're supposed to go to the roundabout, that aren't you? If they hadn't done a UE, you could have got through them.
The microphone, well, it's quite good. It's not the best I've had. It's clear, apart from it does struggle with louder, high-pitched voices, so it struggles with female voices or any shouting. It starts distorting. First of all, thanks to Gadgetmeister UK for helping me with a couple of problems I had. So, should you buy this dashcam, If you're looking for a cheap front dashcam for insurance purposes, then it is worth it, as the front camera is good quality and you get a bonus rear camera which might come in handy. The rear camera does seem to be like an afterthought though. There is no mention of it in the instructions, meaning if you have never fitted a rear camera before, there is no help. If you're wanting to upload to YouTube, then I would say that the front camera is good enough, but it's a bit of a faff to get the footage off the dashcam, which I personally couldn't be bothered with. So anyway, a big thank you to AZDOME for sending me this dashcam, and my experience with the company itself was a great one. Their communication is incredible, so I would definitely be interested to review, so to try some more expensive dashcams from them in the future. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button. If you're new here, please subscribe. And if you think I missed anything, / have any thoughts or questions about this dashcam, please comment below.